I ain't gonna lie, bro. Hebrew Israelites burn me up so bad, bro. Cause like, how can they sit there and read the Bible and think about all those things and get to a point where they think that the people who enslaved them will be enslaved again? Like, you're using the Bible just as people did 400 years ago to enslave y'all. And y'all think that it's a good thing for us to get enslaved because it's equality? Bruh. I could understand if those people lived 600 years and they're still here. I have nothing to do with that. And I will not, and I mean not, be one of those people that are like kneel down to you or kiss your shoe. Oh, bro, you got me messed up, bro. Not I, bro. You gonna have to kill me or unalive me, whatever you want to call it. I'm not gonna.
Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rekha HaKodash. I want to send double honor to the elders, apostles, and bishops, a great millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and safety is to the hopeful elect document out there doing this work. I want to get into this video. Salaki, much love to the scattered elect and to the few sincere women that subscribe to the true doctrine. And I wanted to just get into this lesson real quick. I ran into this clip through the elder out of South Carolina, the elder Manata Zakba. I didn't actually see the video. I actually will have to check his video out to see what he was going to say. But when I came across this clip and listened to it, I wanted to give my 2 cents. Now the individual in the clip that I played at the beginning, he appears to be an Edomite, all right? But we here at Great Millstone, through the scriptures, we believe that Israelites can look like any nation upon the earth, and that's based off of the Lord saying that we were going to be scattered throughout the 4 winds. We were going to be mingled amongst the heathen, in a sense. Due to our transgressions, that's where we were scattered. So we'll look like these so-called white people as well. All right, we'll look Chinese. We're everywhere. All right, period, point blank. So we believe that wholeheartedly. So let's say that this individual in the video is not, let's say he's not a Jake. Let's say that he actually is one of the natural Gentiles. Let's say he is an Edomite. You're going into captivity, right? And if you're not, if you just so happen, your lineage just so happens to go back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel, which consists of the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, then you're not going to have to serve captivity when the kingdom of heaven is established. All right? But I want to get a few precepts based off what he was saying in there. No, it's not going to be in particular order in what he said it, but I know he mentioned that he's not going into captivity. You know what I'm saying? And this is if he is an Edomite, which you are. And also, what I want to touch on first is, a statement that he made about, the slavers, that had pretty much had the Israelites in captivity. He didn't say Israelites, but those that had the Israelites in captivity, they would have to be about 500-600 years old. Well, there's such thing as reincarnation, and you come back, as your forefathers. All right. The Most High takes that spirit out of your body and, brings it back up to the third heaven. And, if ever, whenever he wants to send it back, you come back in a brand new vessel. Okay. Reborn. So, yeah, there's such thing as reincarnation. But let's get into the scriptures. It shouldn't be very long, but I just pray that it's edifying and straight to the point, as the elder Amawag Bar out of the main camp will say. Right, so this is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 5. It says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord Yahweh, thy power and my jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and the 4th generation of them that hate me." So, who are the main individuals that hate the Lord? Okay, it's talking about Esaw, Edom, the so-called white man who does everything, 144% of everything that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai had prescribed to be good. Esaw, Edom has turned it upside down. He's a blatant offender of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So yeah, this is the one that hate the Lord. Even look around today, right? Look around today. Look at how this society is being ran. It's not being ran through the love of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which goes back to the law, statutes, and commandments. It's being ran through evil. It's being ran through unrighteous reasoning. So this is not the man that that loves the Heavenly Father, but indeed he hates him. You know, these heathen nations do as well, because they do whatever the hell they want to do. You know, eating goddamn eels, and you know, these Moabites eating scorpions and all type of nasty ass shit that you're not supposed to be eating anyway. But no, getting back to it, it says that visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. You know, and this is a very touchy subject. It's a very touchy subject when it comes into captivity. You know, a lot of people, well, just because these people had so-called blacks or whatever in slavery, that doesn't mean that it was right. Okay, whatever you want to say. But, you know, these would be the same type of people that turn around and say, oh, what goes around comes around. But why wouldn't it? Let's get a precept, you know. You know, this is why we know sometimes certain things that these individuals will say will burn us up in the spirit. We will get upset. But for the most part, we just come out the scriptures, man. You know, we get emotional here and there, but it's about what the scriptures say. It's not about how we feel. This is a book of Revelation 13 and verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and captivity is slavery. All right. You have prisoners, so to speak. So you got people working for you. They're laboring 24 hours a day. Terrible fucking food to keep them going, but just enough to keep them going. You know, like they used to serve our forefathers slop and all types of wicked ass, nasty ass shit such as pork, man. We were in captivity eating bullshit, and guess what? We're right back in captivity eating bullshit, because a lot of these foods out here are not real foods, or they're heavily poisoned. All right, via through Esaw and the GMOs and the Monsanto, and now they're even doing 3D printed food. So this food that we're eating today is still messed up. Even the good shit. All right, the vegetables and the fruits and the organic shit. A lot of that is fucked up. So we're right back in our current captivity. All right. So it says, he that leadeth into captivity will go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Right? Esau Edom has touched the apple of the Lord's eye. As he was that in Ezekiel 25. Right? Accidentally turned it. Is that Ezekiel 25? I believe the 12th. I may get that. The 12th and 4th through the 14th verse, where it speaks about Esau Edom putting a hand on the nation of Israel, but the nation of Israel via getting that vengeance through the Spirit of the Lord. This is that sword. That sword is a killing instrument. You know, it could be an actual sword, but in this modern day, it's like the modern day handgun. You know what I'm saying? Or any type of gun. Any killing instrument, all right? And so Esau Edom is going to go down by the same notion that he pushed, the same notion that he lived by, which, that was part of his blessing, going back into the book of Genesis 27 chapter, that he will live by the sword and have the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. Okay? Reading on, it says, he that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, which the saints are the Israelites, according to the book of Psalms 149. All right? Now, when I said I wanted to get Ezekiel chapter 25, and was it 4? Did I say 12? It might be 14. Nope, this is it. 25 verse 12. It says, thus said the Lord Yahweh power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and Edom is today's so-called white man, the so-called Caucasians, all right, which they're not done away with, as individuals like Haman Malone would say. Those people are still roaming the earth today. All right. It says, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, which Judah is the head tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is where you actually get Jew from. All right. How you have those rats over there with those mini caps, claiming to be the true children of the Most High, right? Which they're not. Right. The Judites are today's so-called Negroes, the head tribe, right? Which is also the tribe of our Lord Yahweh Shai, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, stemmed from, right? But let's read on. It says, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh power, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it. And now this is a recompense, right? This is why it tells us that it says that wait ye upon the Lord till he rise up to the prey. The Lord's going to be the one doing all the damage, right? We're going to play a role also, but that's be it through the Spirit. But we're going to get into that part. It says, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom, so-called white man, by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord Yahweh power. So whenever the elect of the nation of Israel is putting hands on Esau, it's not going to be by our own merit. This is why we don't push that narrative now, right? The only thing that we're doing now is we're preaching this word, we're bringing out the facts, and you feel how you feel about it. You may want to fight us, but wait, we ain't going to do nothing to you, Now, there will be a time where the Lord will have men putting hands on you, all right? And that was in the book of Job. It says, every hand of the wicked shall be upon them. And that wicked that it's talking about in the book of Job, and that specific verse is the Imal, the Hebrew word Imal, which are those. Nope. It's like, I got a call. Not sure where I cut off at, but speaking about the Imal, which the Imal goes into the laborer, all right, the ones that are working, pretty much the servants, which are predominantly the Israelites, right? Esau is in captivity too, but this is talking about the Israelites, right? So there will be a time, but now is not the time, and we don't encourage individuals to do so. So now let's get this next precept, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21, because as he said, they would have to be 500-600 years old. Oh, that's not true. We brought out the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter, where it spoke about the Most High visited the children of the fathers to the third and the fourth generation. Roughly paraphrasing, right? This is the book of Isaiah 14 verse 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children. For whose children? Esau, Edom's. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not possess nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Let's read that over. I butchered that. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So that means what? Esau Edom is going to be totally done with after a point, right? Now he's going to serve captivity for 1,000 years in the kingdom of heaven, all right? Hardcore bondage. Oh man, you get one day off. That's the Shabbat, the Sabbath, the Most High's day of rest. That's the only day you getting off. You getting your ass whooped, and you getting put, hey, like they say, BTA, belt to ass all day, all right, all goddamn day. And then after 1,000 years of hardcore captivity, guess what? You're gonna be burned up, and you're gonna be forgotten forever. And the book of Obadiah says that. All right, that you're gonna be burned up. You're not gonna be an existing nation after that 1,000 years of captivity, once the kingdom of Israel is set up, which is really the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. All right. So you're going into captivity. Don't worry about it, right? Now starting with the elite bankers, the ones that make all these unjust laws and rules, and got the people in the heart, and got the people in slavery, straight up slavery, right? Overtaxing, making the cost of living fucked up, right? Creating fake foods, making it hard for you to sustain on your own, or to be sovereign if you want it to be, right? You can't grow your own gardens. You pretty much can't do your own thing, and there's different situations that happen that show you can't do your own thing. Black Wall Street, the events such as that in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can't do your own thing. All right. So yeah, Esau Edom, you're going into captivity. Now the individual in the video, we don't know for sure 100% if he's an Edomite or if he's an Israelite. But we do know, based off of the points that he was making, that they were totally wrong. Right? So I believe I covered everything. Like I said, it wasn't going to be too long. Just wanted to touch those points and give my 2 cents. And I pray this was edifying. So with that being said, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachai Kodash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, and the bishops of the great millstone. Peace, love, and safety is to the elect. Shalom.